Item 2, additions or deletions to the agenda.
I don't have any.
Do you want to move that one?
Sure. I move to move 11B, review and approve Green Mountain Power Agreement, to 7B, under visitors and concerned citizens.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 3, executive session, the appointment or employment or evaluation of a public officer or employee per 1 VSA 313A3, Liam Elio review.
I move to enter executive session under 1 BSA 313A3, the appointment or employment or evaluation of a public officer or employee, and invite the town administrator and Liam Elio to attend the executive session.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I can't believe that somebody else wouldn't have mentioned the same thing eventually.
It's been mentioned in other places,
You good?
so we should start on.
This one you're gonna have to erase a little bit off.
Yeah.
Alright, anyone care to make a motion?
Are we doing the motion to exit and then,
We already did the motion to exit.
okay, you don't have to do it in front of the camera
We
then.
don't have any idea. I'm asking the LCT tomorrow.
There's no clear guidance on that.
We have to now make a motion to exit out of executive session, but there's no clear guidance on whether we need to have that recorded or whether we need to do it in public because it's executive session. So
It's
that's the
strange.
legislature's fault, and I'm gonna ask.
Hey, don't blame us.
It is
I'm not
totally your fault.
So
You
do
work
want
on
a
that,
motion
Kate.
for Leah's raise?
Of all things, of all things that they could have just they
57
try to
to
clear things up, they
59,000.
totally muddied the waters on that one. Anyway,
I would make a motion to raise Liam Elio's rate of pay annually from $57,000 to $59,000, starting the next pay period.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Item 4, minutes approval, meeting of 7/7/2025.
I move to approve the minutes of the select board meeting of 7/7/25.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Item 5, select board pay orders.
I move to approve the pay orders for payroll and accounts payable.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 6 is announcements and correspondence.
I don't have any announcements other than I came back from vacation. That was fun. It was a great vacation. There's correspondence. The correspondence included in the board's packet is as follows. There's a letter and a flyer from Sebeds announcing a town building symposium on August 28th, and also their Southern Vermont Get On Board program. And I just want to say that I participated in that program 2 years ago, I think now. And it's an excellent program for people who have been on boards and want to know how to recruit people to get on your boards, or if you're thinking about being on a board but don't know how to get started. It's a great intro into what are boards, how do they work, what kind of board do you want to be on. So I highly recommend that program. That's all I get.
Municipal and nonprofit?
Municipal and nonprofit, yeah, it was very well done, and also it's a networking opportunity, so you get to meet people who are on different boards in different towns and how people do different things.
I guess we should mention the special town meeting. So last Saturday we had our special town meeting. We elected Lister, March Fish, and the petition to disapprove the amendments to the short-term rental ordinance failed by a vote of 66 to 25. I believe that's it. Anything from you guys? Alright. Moving on to item 7, visitors and concerned citizens. 7A is Representative Chris Morrow, legislative update.
Yeah, I just wanted to touch base with you folks to give you a quick update, but then see what's on your mind in terms of anything related to the state. So, we actually got a fair amount done, about a third of the way in. I was not that optimistic, but we ended up getting a bunch of good stuff done, including 2 big healthcare bills, which were really important, but also obviously the ed bill dominated the whole session. And after staying 2 weeks late and then being called back 2 weeks after that, we finally got that across the finish line controversially. So there's lots of opinions about that, and we're still gonna be working on that for the next few years. You know, there's a lot to do in the next couple of sessions. We didn't even touch special education or, busing or the community technical education, big chunks. And the big thing that's going on now is they're drawing, they have a committee drawing district and supervisory boundaries, which is really going to dictate how things roll forward, especially in terms of independent schools and all that. So, yeah, it was contentious on many levels, but the fundamentals in terms of moving to a foundation formula and changing how it's funded and governed, I think were basically good ideas. As part of that whole package, you might be aware of they're changing how we're doing income sensitivity on property taxes. So that's, I'm just going to try to highlight a couple of things that are specifically relevant to the town level. So you'll hear more about that. That's going from the way we do it now to, it's basically going to be, I think, $425,000 of your homestead will be exempt. And there'll also be a sliding scale based on your income up to 125 or maybe 175,000. They're still determining that, and it's going to happen the same year. So it's not like you file your homestead form and then you get a rebate or anything like that. It's all going to be at the same time. And tax department's still working out some laws on that. But so as part of the ed bill, there was a bunch of tax changes, including creating a separate category. Before it was just homestead, non-homestead. So we broke up non-homestead, and now there's a second home category. In fact, it's not what it's called, but that's what it is. The taxes haven't changed, but that's the setup for potential increases in second home taxes in the future. So there'll obviously be a lot of conversation about that in the coming years. You interrupt me at any time if you have questions or want me to cover something. The big, the ed bill got the big press, but really, for my money, it was the healthcare system's in much worse shape than our education system. I mean, it's worse than you think on many levels. The hospitals, a lot of them are struggling. Blue Cross is a mess. UVM Medical Center is 60% of the state's healthcare budget, and they're basically a monopoly, and they pay their executives crazy amounts of money, even compared to like Dartmouth Hitchcock and other teaching hospitals around the country. They're way out of whack, and they're driving a lot of the costs for the whole state. So there was some good work done on trying to rein in costs, but there's a lot of work still to be done in the coming years. And just in terms of stuff that I really wanted to cover more specifically is housing and the flood-related stuff. So we did get, between the stuff we put in the budget and the separate flood bill, we got some good stuff in there, including like $15 million for claims that FEMA denied for the towns, $30 million for state and local FEMA match money. There's a whole bunch of stuff, roads, extra grants for towns, municipal reimbursements for abated property taxes. I don't know if you guys have been abating people's from the floods of 23 and 24. Municipal grant list stabilization program. So there's a bunch of stuff in there which I'm assuming the LCT will be, if they haven't already, funneling all this to you guys. The flood bill requires Vermont Emergency Management to consult with the towns now when they're developing the statewide emergency management plan. There was some sense that they weren't really connected with what was happening at the town level, so we put that in there. As part of that bill, as I'm sure you're aware of already, is we bumped the local option tax, so you guys get an extra 5% on that now. So that was a win. for you guys. So there was some good stuff in the flood bill. The housing bill also was a bit contentious, but there's a couple of, it was a good bill, and there was a couple of things that you guys can use. I have two extra copies of this. The main part of it was this thing called CHIP, which is Community Housing Infrastructure Program, which the rules are still being figured out about that, but it's basically a way to use, it's convoluted, it's a tax increment financing scheme. So like the bigger towns like Burlington, Winooski, whatnot, they've been having this tax increment financing option for years, where you basically borrow against the increase of your grand list over time. And but it was too complicated and convoluted for any kind of smaller towns to do. So CHIP is an attempt at making something like this feasible for towns like Londonderry. And it's still complicated, and some of the rules are still being worked out, as I said. But it has potential, especially when you're doing things like water, sewer, that type of thing. You can, and it has to be related to housing. You can't just be, I want to put in a sewer line. It has to be connected to a housing project, because this was all based on promoting housing. So yeah, and just get on the mailing list, the email list, and you'll get more updates on that. So if you have a housing project and you need to get something infrastructure, town infrastructure out to it, there's a way to finance it through this. There's another way, if this is too convoluted or not appropriate. We created a revolving loan fund with the bond bank, so you can borrow easily through the bond bank to do it. And of course, all these have different eligibilities and restrictions, but it's a low interest loan for municipalities specifically related to infrastructure that will promote housing. So there's more in there, but that's stuff on rental housing, and a bunch of reports and brownfields. Does Londonderry have a brownfield? No.
Really?
Yeah?
I thought Senator Merrill's property had brownfield. I could be wrong. Is that something?
Was it
I mean, it's
official?
not been a federally, I
Oh,
don't think so, but I remember Gail Mayer talking about it.
I don't think it was. I think
It's not on.
the tanks have been removed.
Then
Yeah.
I misspoke, yeah.
Anyway, there's a project for remediating brownfields and getting housing built on them. Yeah, so that was mostly what I wanted to cover in terms of things that could directly impact you. There was a fair amount of good work done. It was a big learning curve for me, but I'm glad I did it. And if there's things that you guys have on your minds in terms of working with the state, or things you'd like to see change, let me know. There is, or if you're not getting good communication with state agencies, that's one thing I found is they will actually respond to a legislative email address. More than that's like the one advantage of having that. So I'm just here to to help in any way I can. So let me know if you come across things as in the course of business, or if you have some pet peeves that you've been working, under your fingernails for the last few years. Let me know. We can see if we can get things changed. A lot, comes from towns or constituents. The laws, we passed this cell phone bill. I don't know if you heard about that. And basically banned cell phones in schools from bell to bell, and that all started with these two mothers, and they got the whole thing rolling. A lot of momentum, and it's a nationwide thing. I mean, it just makes total sense given the mental health issues, and the data on it is overwhelming. But the point is, like, you know, it doesn't need to be this big political thing. It's like if you have a good idea, let's work on it and, just
Chris, I
be in
had
touch.
spoken to you a couple months ago about the village wastewater deadline, or the
Oh, that's right,
date
yeah.
beyond which we would not be able to continue our project. And the thought was if we got you to knock on some doors up, I think at the state level, Chrissy Haskins is our kind of go-to gal. She's with the frame group and is managing the engineering side of this and really the whole, because but we've been worried that September 26th, I think, is going to come way fast with the work that we're doing. And the deadline is, I think, that.
It's coming up, yeah. Lynette Clodon too.
Oh, that's
works
right,
in
Lynette,
Vermont.
yes.
Can you email me
Yeah.
information on that and what you'd like from me?
Yeah. Just to sort of raise attention to the fact that, you know, we're a small little town,
Yeah,
working our fannies off trying to get this project done.
sure,
Yeah,
yeah, be happy to help.
thank you.
And what's the deadline looking like for when they're gonna pick the supervisory districts for the schools?
They have to have a report by December, and then the legislature will actually, they have to present 3 options, and then we'll pick one in January, February. So the governor was constantly pushing the timeline on this. You know, there are a lot, originally it was kind of, there was more time to do everything, but he was very kind of forceful on making it happen sooner.
And are is the number that they're gonna come up with, the final number they're gonna come up with, or is it a transition year of ever shrinking or ever enlarging size of supervisory districts?
No, it'll be a one-time.
It'll be a one-time.
Yeah, because it's super complicated. You wouldn't want to just chunk it out. I mean, you need to we're going to create wards, voting wards, which will, you know, go up to the district level, and then we have to create all these rules for, you know, how to vote in the new select boards. I mean, the school boards and the, you know, what happens to all the money and the accounts of all the existing districts, how does that get rolled up? I mean, there's all these things that you didn't think about until you start digging into it, and you're like, this is not as easy as just creating some new lines on a map. You know, there's a lot to go into it, and so it's going to be a rough transition, but hopefully at the end of the day it'll be saving some money and being good for a bunch of the kids. I mean, I didn't realize how unequal the education was across the state. I mean, it's you know, it's as bad or worse than it was when they put in Act 60, which was supposed to fix all that, you know, 30 years ago, whenever it was. So so there's certain parts of the state that will especially benefit. But yeah, I don't want to take up too much time, so just be in touch if you have, you know, things I can help with.
Does the select board want to come up with a list of legislative priorities? Does it maybe like for a future agenda?
It'd be a worthwhile exercise for us, don't you?
It can solidify, you know, what the town wants, you know, from the legislature.
Not a bad idea.
Not today.
Any other questions for Chris? Thank you, Chris.
Thank you for your
Thank you very much.
representation. Yeah.
Moving on to 7B, Green Mountain Power Agreement, review and approve. So I know Josh has talked to Tim quite a bit.
Yeah, come on up real quick. Yeah, I was able to talk to Josh. Thank you for having me back. And I was able to talk to Josh on Friday, I believe, and just tie off on a couple of the questions he had. I think number one was what of unsuitable materials that are brought up from subsurface, and just explained to him, and I think this covers that those materials will be windrowed and taken taken off site, so if we bring anything up unsuitable that's not even good for day cover, we'll get it out of there, and of course we'll replace it and restore the road to finish once we're done, but certainly in the interim, we don't want people riding over rough terrain or impacting anybody's vehicles, so.
Good. Yeah, from everything I've heard from Josh, he's fine with everything. He's got his questions answered. He's checked out a couple of their project spots.
And the town attorney had some comments at one point.
Yep.
Yeah. The big one was the road access permit, right of way permit, and here's a copy of Halifax's. Is our road access, he said ours is insufficient.
It really doesn't apply to this type of work specifically. It's more
Right.
of a driveway access permit, and
More like right of way.
it may be the
Or-
only document that we have that we could customize, but
But
it's
they
really
had-
not.
Underground utilities on theirs.
Yeah, did you, I put it in the back of the
Right.
packet, I believe.
I think I did see.
A lot of it deals with like what you were talking about, the suitable material and stuff like that.
Yeah, he said, do you have any form that you use for the work within the town right of way? And all that
Did
we
you see
have
a
is an
copy of
access
that,
permit.
I didn't,
I
no.
don't think you didn't get
I
that.
think, yeah, so we
Um,
just have been, I think the agreement that we shared
Right,
is a distillation of the various towns, and, but it's all sort of backed up to sort of V-Trans, you know, municipal back roads permitting and so forth.
this is Halifax's, so we don't have anything similar.
Which is a great example because this originated in Halifax this year, and so they basically took that, we gave them our agreement, and they actually redlined it to make sure that all of those items were picked up, and in other towns that we've spoken to, I think just as recently as last week, Marlborough, for example, we got sort of the same script from their road foreman, and so we just play it back and say, does this cover it, you know?
Right. So that's the corrected, or that stemmed
Yeah, I
from.
took the draft watermark off of it, and I just made it tonight's date, and I signed it. And that was it. But if there's another form that, if you prefer us to, in addition to this, fill out, if there's a fee, whatnot, obviously we'll get that filled in and submitted and paid. I think Weston, theirs is more of a curb cut, but I think we cut across a couple of their roads, so we actually, everywhere we did that, we filled out an access permit.
And the only permit that we have currently is the driveway access permit, which I suppose we could have them fill out. It doesn't really.
That's the only way to charge the fee probably,
Right,
right? Is have
yeah.
accompany the
Yeah,
check with that.
yeah,
It's not an exact fit to what we're trying to
Sure.
do, but it's the one form that the town does have established, so.
I can get that right off the website,
I
or
believe
maybe.
it is on the
Okay.
website, yeah. But if you can't find it there, I can email it.
Okay.
And Josh does like this and would like to go through it and make it so it fits our town, so we got a better permit.
Yeah. And I think we did talk about doing it at one other time, and we, with time being of the essence, we didn't develop the document,
No.
but we did come up with based on Green Mountain Power's designs, we did another road crossing, utility crossing, that we were able to kind of adapt the one that we have.
Sure.
What's your preferred timeline? I know we're like this, you'd like to have us sign this and hand it right back, right?
Of course. Yeah, it'd be ideal. I mean, I think when we were here last time, I think, you know, we were hoping that, you know, once we got to tonight, we would have covered any other, you know, questions. Certainly, I don't need to leave here with a signed document tonight. I signed a copy that I'm happy to leave behind and then just work with Eileen. I'm around all the time. I can come back in with the road permit and the fee. And once you have everything, you know, if it's something that you could sign and hold on until I, you know, come with this other, you know, permit this week.
Is this what the attorney reviewed? was, right?
Yes, you didn't change anything.
I did not, I just took the
Yeah, so
watermark
he-
off it and I changed the date to
He
tonight, that was
reviewed
it.
that, he said, you know, as long as they return the road to its former glory,
There's a couple, like, I don't know if it'd be an addendum or just
I think it says that in the contract, that they'll return the road.
as long as A, B, and C were included, he said
Yeah.
it was okay, kind of.
Yeah, yeah,
That was my feeling, was that based on his comments and what's in here and his experience working with, seeing the work that you guys have done in other towns, that, you know, it's a safe agreement to enter into. That was generally the consensus, as long as, you know, we all agree that what he suggested is represented completely in here, so.
yeah.
It's what we sent off to, and we have a couple of these in place, it's what we've sent off, we'll be in Brattleboro tomorrow, we'll be in Marlboro on Thursday, so it's really, this is kind of our calling card, and, you know, some towns have another permit that we're also, you know, filling out and submitting as well, so,
Right.
just kind of belt and suspenders.
Yep.
But the agreement is usually just sort of spells out what we intend to do, you know, based on the project, so, however the town wants to.
I think this, along with our road access permit, if we alter or make any amendments or addendums or whatever to our road access permit application, this would be fine, and then you pay the $75 and include the other road access permit application, we're probably good to go. That other document gives us the opportunity, if there's something missing, to just include it with that.
Okay. So is that something I could just fill out and bring to you tomorrow and pay the fee and?
Yeah, I think that you have to approve it, but is it okay to approve it the next meeting?
You could they check?
Condition it and
Condition
then
it
ratify it.
Rather-
And then ratify.
Well,
it.
yeah, I guess you could do, I guess you
Yeah.
could pass it today and ratify later.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
What?
Or is that?
No, it makes sense.
Makes sense to me.
So just where our schedule is at, if you were to approve it tonight, we would probably just initiate our customer notification letters and so forth. So we probably just start sending letters out that, you know, no sooner than a couple of weeks from now, we'll be out there, you know, getting involved and, you know, getting our bids in place and, you know, starting our process. So something we'd ideally like to get into in August, so we can get in and
Yep.
get everything out of there before, you know, before the season's turn.
Yeah, I think that's why time is of the essence for sure, because
Yep.
summer is a fleeting season.
Well, I'll leave my signed copy here, and I will come back, and I'll get that application downloaded, and I'll bring it back tomorrow or Wednesday at latest with the fee. And
I put an unsigned copy in there, so maybe just substitute that one.
Are we gonna
So should
make
we
it
just
conditional on,
condition the signed, or approved and signed road access permit?
Yep.
Not that the $75 is a deal breaker,
Hey.
but probably I'll say that
it's a
the fee as
fee-based
well.
world we live in, so that's okay.
I would make the motion to approve the Green Mountain Power agreement for work proposed on Under the Mountain Road with the condition of submitting the required fee and road access permit application.
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I will see the administrator tomorrow.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Have a good night.
You too.
Alright, moving on to item 8, town officials business. 8A, Town administrator, town clerk. A1 is Wyndham County Animal Control Officer Program.
You wanna start? You wanna start? Ally and I got to talking, about the animal control officer, program, that Wyndham County, this is Wyndham Country, sorry about that, Wyndham Country, puts on. So they've done this program. It's now grown to, I don't know, maybe 8 towns, maybe more than that. They have their own animal control officer.
This is the sheriff.
The
correct?
sheriffs, yeah. And they provide that service to towns for a set fee. And the more towns that join on, theoretically, the less the fee is for each town. A couple things that were noted: they don't deal with barking dogs, because dogs don't get a call in the middle of the night and the dog, will have barked, for 5 minutes and they get there and then the dog isn't barking. So they don't deal with those. There's a few other things they don't deal with. Londonderry would have to update their dog ordinance, which I believe was written in 1975, something like that.
It was 1975.
Which is probably a good idea anyway.
It's on my desk to revisit once I realized how old it was.
So we just wanted to get a feeling from the select board whether you want to go down that route or not.
So this would replace Pat Salo's position?
For the most part, I think,
You would still
there's
keep
still
the beaver.
the beaver
Still be
yeah.
beaver control.
Nuisance.
Beaver control, yes.
Nuisance,
Yep, the
yeah.
beaver nuisance, yes.
And you'd have to have somebody, you'd have to designate somebody for, your barking dog or, the things that the sheriff
Other
would
stuff.
deal
Yeah.
with, but it would take a lot off. The local animal control officers played it. The person who's the animal control officer for the sheriff is trained on how to catch, dogs and how to treat them and, how to.
And they have a place to house them too.
Yeah.
And they have a place to house them and they're fully deputized, so that's the other advantage. 'Cause I guess they often run into other issues when they find dogs that are problem dogs, nuisance dogs, that they can deal with on the spot, so.
And wasn't the fee basically the same thing we were paying back?
I think it
That
might
much-
even be
might be
less.
It might be less now,
Um,
because that was a few years ago when last time I looked at that, and now I believe 2 more towns.
2,500.
Yeah, I think at least 1 more, if not 2 more towns have signed on to this,
Of course,
so.
can't find it, but,
Yeah.
Are we having a problem with our current?
People do, yeah, some people.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, we have complaints.
I mean, that's the other piece to it, is if you get somebody who's not necessarily local, then it removes that piece from the equation. It's often hard for locals to police
Just tell
locals,
them to let the dog go, it'll go home.
Yeah,
There have been complaints about not really
Following
having
through.
Pat do much.
Yeah.
And response time, I mean, now we're talking about a regional individual having to drive.
that's a good question.
Something we can look into.
Yeah,
This
we
would
could-
be, Pat would have to serve his term, so we're looking for March.
Yeah.
But, there's obviously redoing the ordinance, or steps, to get
To
there.
get to there too.
Yeah,
And we
so-
could have the sheriff come and, explain the program better than I just did.
But we didn't wanna do all that unless it was, interested.
Is he aware that we're having this conversation?
Yes,
Yes.
yeah,
I think it makes sense from like a consistency standpoint to have someone who's trained, and from a regional perspective, you would expect the same results from the same infraction or whatever, as opposed to somebody's version of what they may do, or, I don't know the extent of the training in the situation that we have, so seems like a more modern approach to what every town ultimately deals with.
I think it's a good idea to look into.
I agree.
okay. Do you want the sheriff to, come visit at some point to explain the program?
There was a lot of information.
Yeah,
there was a lot,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that's,
Okay.
As long as you can backfill the pieces that the sheriff won't provide, if we've got a solution that's whole for that,
Yeah,
then Pat's okay with it.
Yeah, if we can figure out exactly what they won't do and then
Yeah.
response time, I think those are the only real questions.
okay.
and keep Pat interested in what's left for tasks.
I mean, quite often he makes more on trapping beavers.
But he likes
for
the
us than he
beavers.
does for
Anything else?
anything else, so.
You might prefer that part of it over the rest anyway.
Okay. So
Thank you.
we'll, work on an ordinance that, an updated ordinance, and we'll move forward with,
This century, this decade.
Get one that's not older than me.
Working on it. That's next on the list.
A2, public records fee schedule.
So as we, the last meeting, approved the records policy, I also, VLCT and Secretary of State has updated their fee schedule, so I thought we should do the same. Most, everything on there is statute. There was changes made, and then there was two, maybe three of them that I added additional to. One was, transmittal fee.
Things where they were allowed to have.
Yeah, that we're allowed to add, everything is all statute, but that if we're emailing all these records or responses, even if they pay, that there should be an additional, it's time, it's energy, that somebody doing those things, so,
I had some, I didn't get a chance to look at this before we, sat here. So right now, right now, because we don't have a fee schedule, we are currently running under the uniform charges schedule, which has a lot of outdated stuff, like, it has fees for 3.5-inch diskettes.
We should probably raise that.
Right.
yeah.
Probably, I'm not sure we can even find them, but one of the things that haven't made it to this one, there was a couple of them. One was for staff time involved in physically duplicating a record. It's 33 cents per minute after the first 30 minutes. And then for senior level staff time and informational technology specialist time, spent extracting data from databases for complicated requests or performing similar tasks. The amount is 57 per minute. And then there's any other staff time for which a cost can be charged, which isn't a lot of things, but that's 45 cents per minute. And then this doesn't have anything, doesn't say anything about electronically copying electronic records. So kind of have to make something up. They have somewhere in here, no, I think I took it from here. Where did I come up with that? I came up with 25 cents per copy, and I don't know where I came up with that. I might have made that up.
There's like personal copies, which is 25 cents per page.
Maybe that's where I got it, yeah. So I just suggested that if we're copying electronic records like emails or even taking photographs of texts or whatever people are asking for, that it'd be 25 cents per record. So, those are the three things that I would add. Then I would change the transmittal fee says $1 per page. I'd change the page to record.
Yeah.
That's what we're getting a lot of, can I have all the emails between September 1st, 2024, between everyone until today, and that's, those are emails, those are different, but they're all electronic. But they do take time to copy and redact and examine and then send. Because I just
Sounds
scribbled on
fair.
this, I'm not sure you want to adopt that. Adopt the changes that I scribbled on
Yeah,
here,
we can,
or just go back and give it to you the next
yeah, either way.
time.
We could adopt it as amended.
Sure.
Yeah.
You read that?
Read the amendments.
Read the, yeah.
Let's see. I would make a motion to adopt the public records fee schedule as amended, including copying records at 33 cents a minute after the first 30 minutes, including senior staff time, tasks necessary to comply at 57 cents per minute after the first 30 minutes, and copying electronic records at 25 cents per record.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Alright,
Yes, I can.
moving on to 8B, short-term rental coordinator. B1 is vacation approval.
We can make it better.
Yes. I appear before you as a contented employee of this fine town.
That needs a vacation.
It needs a little time off. I will remind you that this is a 20-hour-a-week job, and in May and June, I have not felt that the job could be done in only those few hours. So I worked 100 hours in May and 105 hours in June. July is looking, well, part of the job is to keep the job contained, and I think that's, fair for everybody. But by my records, I worked 45 hours more than the allotted time in May and June, and so I'd like to take approximately 2 weeks of the next 4 away from this work, because that would be 40 hours would be 2 weeks. And I have given the vote on Saturday. I've got a few days of communication to do just to sort of set things in motion for the next, the next act, which is to bring all those amendments to bear. But I feel like, it's going to take some time to get that word out to the people that affects, and I've actually got a question about that, separate from my vacation request. But I'm feeling like it's, essentially communicating that people have a month to adjust to the changes now that we know the changes have been affirmed. That what happened on April 21st is in fact going to be the ordinance for the coming year. So, but one thing at a time. That's my plan with vacation, is that I'd like to actually make my first vacation responder, and probably do a week with a date by week, so I can tell people that
Out of
next
office.
out of office
Supply.
until Thursday. You can expect some, I'll catch up on emails, and I think if I can do it that way, and people who pick up the phone in the Londonderry office know, yeah, hey, he'll be checking emails and phone messages after a week. So there's a little work time in the middle there where I can catch up on things and put out this kind of fire. That would be my plan, and then like I said, there's going to be I've got a couple of busy days coming up, just with emails and finishing the licenses that I've been working on over the last week, because it's 2 more inspections today. Things are ticking right along. Great. In line with but do you want to, I don't know how you want to consider that, or since we haven't had this conversation before, I don't know what we need to do. But I got these other 2 related items, and I could just kind of dive right into those. Or
I think you would probably be the best person to determine when the best time to go on vacation would be,
Yeah,
rather than us pick a date for you,
yeah,
so.
yeah. No, yeah,
Seems
with
like
your permission, I'll do that. I,
Yeah,
it's
I
both,
just thought that he should, I mean, I know he works more than 20 hours
yeah,
a week, and he documents it, so,
yeah. But I'm also trying to keep
Yeah.
it, you know, like, it's a half-time job. We should, you know, all of us should sort of make it fit that. But yeah, I would coordinate it to have, you know, it's gonna be my work to catch up on anyway, so I wanna
Yeah.
sort of coordinate it so that I don't,
Make it the easiest on
Yeah.
yourself.
yeah, and, you know, lots of people that have questions and spending a lot of time on the phone answering those right now.
I don't even feel like we need to vote on it.
Let me
Just
know.
Okay,
say,
yeah,
but
well,
it's good
go
to
ahead.
cool, that's my
to
plan.
just let them know.
And then, just, I wanna clarify one thing, in light of the meeting, the way, Town Attorney Fisher and the committee talked about one of the changes that led to the petition or the protest of the amendments is that, a house that was newly transferred after April 21st would not be eligible for,
Grandfathering?
well, for grandfathering, but it would not be eligible for short-term rental enrollment in the, you know, for the year after that transfer or purchase.
Mhm.
And I've been, well, there've been two strategies. Because there was the petition in the works, I've been suggesting to people that these restrictions or these amendments, you know, could turn out to be the way things are, or they could not turn out. But I've encouraged a couple of people to, people who owned property for a while and hadn't registered as an STR in the first year of the program. I've said, you probably want to do that if you intend in subsequent years to rent for more than 50 days. In other words, don't lose that opportunity, because if it's part of the first year permitting or licensing, then you're not subject to the 50-day cap.
Mhm.
But then there's that other much debated amendment, and it's the delay. So we've got a couple of people who are in
On the
this.
cusp of,
Well, they chose to register so they could be in good standing for the first year, but in fact, they're gonna be subject to, they're gonna lose part of the coming year because they registered a newly purchased property. I mean, the best example is someone who they closed on a property 3 days before the changes happened. And so, with as much information as possible, they registered, paid the $500 for the first non-hosted rental year, and only got, and the remodeling. They really got no rental use out of it, but they wanted to secure that. They wanted to avoid that 50-night cap.
Mhm.
But now with that 1 year delay, they will not be eligible for short-term rental activity until April 18th of 26. So I wanted to air it with you that my understanding, and I think what Bob, how he worded things, is that as stated and now confirmed as our new amendment, that houses that were purchased in,
Well, the amendment didn't go into effect until, was it July 1st we wrote on it?
well,
Because it didn't go into effect when we adopted it. It had to go 60 days before it became effective.
Bob said that that's a great point. He said that with the adoption of the amendments, that's when they start.
Okay.
Even though.
somebody has 60 days to challenge it.
Yes, yeah, but which would make it, and I clarified that with him, because I said it's gonna make a big difference, because the person who bought a piece of property that had been a very busy STR just after the amendment. I think he actually talked with that homeowner, who requested his contact information, and I cleared that up with him, and he said that the vote to adopt is the start date. But it
Not the
does,
60-day
yeah,
window after
yeah.
that.
Alright.
Okay.
Yeah, 60 days is built in
It's
for
to
the
challenge.
for the
It's to-
process,
for
but
somebody
But
to
it doesn't
challenge.
delay the start of it.
Correct.
no. So that's, yeah.
So, quick question for clarification. Are you talking about this property is one and the same, that they registered in time to be,
To be in for the
to be
first year.
grandfathered, but they missed, I guess I don't understand how they would be grandfathered for a part of it, but not the 50 nights.
No,
No, they're grandfathered for the 50 nights. They're not grandfathered for the 1 year because they just bought their
Why
property.
one and not the other, I guess is my question. Because aren't the amendments, aren't
They're
both
not
of those,
mutually exclusive, right? The two amendments,
they were both,
The 50 nights only applies if you were not registered in the first year.
Yeah.
The 1 year applies if you just sold your home or just bought the home.
okay.
yes, yeah.
That-
Right, they're not,
So they're
right,
different.
they're not packaged, I mean, they
Right.
appear in the same set of amendments, but they,
They're
They're
not
separate.
conditional
Each,
on
yeah.
each other,
yeah,
it's, okay, that makes more sense.
yeah,
than-
but it's, yeah,
It's
it's,
still very complicated.
it is.
It's
But
like
it's, yeah,
if-then sentences.
yeah, it's the 1 year delay that I know there'll be some friction around that.
Enforceable.
The moratorium.
Yes, the moratorium on that, and I believe that's what we're intending to.
Yep.
I'd say whatever Bob tells you to do. is
Yeah,
what you
well, and
should do.
he had a very, I thought a very helpful strategy to talk someone through all the ways that they might use that property in the year.
Mhm.
You know, with rentals over a month, and, again, I mentioned it at the meeting on Saturday, but that,
To still be able to affect some kind of income, but
Right,
avoid the
It
moratorium.
just can't be defined as a short-term
Right,
rental, but
right.
you can rent it
But
many
you-
other ways.
yeah, you could still do 2 weeks of ski season in December and 2 more weeks, you know,
Yeah.
pick your weeks, but you could do holiday weeks on both sides of the new year and actually get a month of that activity. And that's not cheating the system, that's an allowance. And so I'm trying to find a little bit of revenue for the folks who are
Right.
expressing the stress of
Yep.
losing it, they think, so.
Right.
um,
So
but
they
that-
could do December and January as long as they didn't do the following December?
Right.
Yeah,
Well, no,
but
But then
it would
we put
lapse.
so if they're for an April purchase,
Right.
they would be allowed,
Over on
Yeah,
April or May 1st.
they would be able to have a license, like their license could kick off in April, and then they could add volume after that. So it's really only the 2025 calendar year that gets pinched.
So that will expire for that
Yeah.
particular property.
Yeah. But if somebody didn't pay attention to any of this activity, and they just bought a house thinking it's gonna be a huge, I'm just gonna
Cash cow.
do what the previous owner did, and, yeah, one of the properties that changed hands was one of the busiest STRs in the inventory, and, the new owner doesn't want it for that same purpose, but maybe some of that purpose, you know what I mean? So it's just the profile that's changing. But anyway, I mean that as I want you to be aware of that, and that is the meaning of, or the content of that amendment. But thank you for clarifying that, yeah, it gets complicated to keep people compliant with each
Mhm.
piece of it. But, yeah, and Tom, what you said is that if licensed in the first year and in good standing, then you are not subject to the 50-night cap that new enrollees, so. And that's why we got, it was 2 or 3 late first year payments, just because people wanted to
Yep.
keep them eligible, so. All right,
Sounds good.
Great.
Thank you.
Happy vacation.
thank you very much.
Have a good night.
Well, thanks.
Well deserved.
Moving on to 8C, Planning Commission. C1 is survey at transfer station.
Pam Spalding from the Planning Commission. You have in your packet a copy of the survey that we aren't sure whether or not we have permission to go to the transfer station or Music Mondays, fill out a facility use agreement to be able to ask these survey questions. A lot of the questions are just general demographics. Some of them relate more or less to one of the dairy resilience project. So
I don't think the Planning Commission would need a facility use agreement to go to town property.
I mean, if you're gonna do a festival there maybe, but
Yeah.
just to do a
To
survey.
do a survey, I don't see
I
any
can't
reason.
hear you.
I don't see any reason why you'd need to do a facility use agreement.
Pam, what's the purpose of this?
Well, Jen and I went to, it was called the Village Meetup in Reading, Vermont in June. And one of the there were many towns represented. They had different panels on different subjects. And one of the towns actually did a survey to find out what people wanted, what people were interested in. There's questions on there about what businesses you think we should have in Londonderry, and that really relates to one of the projects from the dairy resilience issue, as to where we move forward. Some of the questions are about education. Why did people move to the area if they weren't born here? Some of the questions are about the schooling.
And how will you administer the survey?
We're,
Are you gonna stand there with a
Steve
clipboard?
Steve had volunteered to go to Music Mondays, and then we were going to set up a table with a pop-up over us because of the temperatures, next to the end part of the, where we call it a swap shop is.
Yeah.
So we're out of
Take it
traffic
away.
and,
Yeah.
you know, and sit there and say, hey, you know.
It's a busy place. You probably get a lot of.
So
It's a
I just
busy
think-
place. You could get
Yeah.
a lot of surveys filled
I
out.
just think when anybody does a survey, you need to sort of be a little bit more transparent about who you are. I mean, who is the planning commission, what town is this? A little description about why you're doing this.
Okay, so at the top of the
'cause this-
survey?
Is if this is gonna fall into somebody's hands, they're gonna kinda go like, what the heck are they asking?
Actually, we were gonna keep control of it would be a more, would you like to fill out our survey and sit there and write down the answers, so.
You're gonna give them the survey to fill out?
No, we would fill it out,
You fill it out.
yeah, that's why the name is optional.
Again, I think, if this is gonna fall into somebody's hands without you owning it, there ought to be some ownership of the document in terms of who you are and why you're doing it, yeah.
Not a
But
bad
I mean,
idea.
if you're hoping to get some good info, yeah. Great.
Would you include information about what's done with the results? Or like how to find out what the results are of the survey?
We could.
I mean, just a
Mm-hmm.
question.
Yeah, what its purpose is.
Works for me. Any other comments? Don't know if we need a motion for that one either, do we? I don't really think so.
In fact, we we talked about it, it's enough.
Sounds good. You can proceed. Item 9, transfer station solid waste management, 9A's updates. I don't have any updates right now, actually.
John started today.
Oh,
Or- Got his computer.
That's computer, yeah.
Extension is on the phone.
Yep, he has a
John
phone,
heard the
new recycling
coordinator.
coordinator.
Oh, the recycling coordinator.
he has a phone extension here.
Huh?
It's extension 10.
And how about our new road crew member? Has this drug test come back?
Yep.
Yes.
Came back
You
Monday,
can.
right?
Yep.
That was bizarrely long. I was talking
Yeah.
to Jack,
Yeah.
that should never happen like that, yeah.
No.
It continually happens like that, unfortunately.
What's that?
It continually happens like that,
It's
unfortunately.
a little
It's-
sporadic at best.
Yes, it's,
Alright,
He has been getting a little bit of time in some of the equipment.
we can go over this when we get
Yeah.
to roads and bridges in a second.
Oh, I thought there was
Item 10, roads and bridges, 10A's updates. There you go.
Yeah,
sorry.
No problem.
Yeah.
yeah, he's been practicing with some equipment.
So he's not really limited in any way in what he can work towards getting his CDL. He still doesn't have his CDL, obviously, but he can now start to log the time required to take the test, and hopefully he'll have that by September on this timeline. So
Any other updates?
couple things coming up after this.
No.
The truck, I guess.
Not Josh's truck,
Yeah,
still under repair.
still under repair.
Still trying to figure out if we're gonna get anything for warranty or not. Last I heard.
Is this the red pickup that has town and Londonderry on it?
No,
No.
it's Josh's.
This is Josh's
town
dump truck.
Plow truck. That's the major engine overhaul, and then they got it all back together, and then the power steering lines blew when they were testing it, so it's still there.
And it's not that old?
It was
Well,
just out of warranty,
Yeah.
but they're trying to get us some warranty work done.
That would be,
How old is the truck?
What, 2 years?
19, no,
Did we miss
it's
warranty?
Josh's truck, so it's
Josh,
the,
oh yeah, so it's,
well,
5.
no,
Did we miss warranty by a
2021,
month?
maybe.
When you were saying
it's something like that,
Yeah,
you're a month out.
it's
yeah. It's
far
very
too
close.
many repairs for its
Yeah,
age.
it's been in the shop a lot
Yeah.
since we got it.
Alright. Moving on to 10B, review and approve Spring Hill Bank stabilization work proposal. So this is the emergency work that we had to get done. Hunter found the opportunity to get it done far quicker than we ever imagined, so we just had to jump on it.
It's in the pay order as well.
Yeah.
They did a good job, everything looked great.
Yeah, Josh and I talked about the project, and the next day, we got approval from the state engineer, and the same day, they were able to meet with Hunter, and the day after that, he started, and the day after that, the project was complete.
About 4 o'clock the day after we met with Hunter, he texted me going, I can be there tomorrow, and I'm like, oh, good lord, here we go.
And the nature of the decay, if you will, I guess, was just that there was some past beaver activity in the river that turned the flow of water right into the river, right into the road bank. And it started earlier this year, but it's continued to erode to the point where basically at the grass, it was about a 7-foot drop off maybe.
Yeah, the road
To the
was
river.
about to start eroding away.
The travel portion was in danger for sure, so I think it was an important project to
Yep.
get taken care of. That's
Is this
something
down
we're
on the
really-
flats
So if you go to the junction of Livermore Mills, and
Oh, right.
it's on the dirt part. So if you come from Winhall Hollow Road, where it
Yeah.
meets, where Spring Hill Road meets Livermore Mills and continues to the
Yep.
paved portion, it's on the right-hand side,
Right where that bridge is.
but right before the bridge, yeah, on the dirt side of the bridge. Or I guess they're both dirt sides of the bridge, but
Just past Livermore Mills on the right, no, on the left.
on the left if you're going towards the hollow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyone care to make that motion?
I would move to approve the Spring Hills stabilization work proposal by Hunter Excavation, estimated to cost $35,000, and authorize the town administrator to sign the proposal on behalf of the town.
Second.
All those in favor?
Uh,
Aye. 10C, review and approve guardrail work proposal. The new guardrails were pretty cheap, not sure.
500.
Page 35.
Something happened in our favor.
What's that?
Something happened in our favor.
Yeah, I think this is a no-brainer.
Yep.
Two long-standing projects that were collectively far less than anticipated and to actually get done, so.
And even less than what we had budgeted. What, we had 72, right?
Yeah.
Well, for once, you didn't get a bid and go, oh boy.
We didn't get that much on the budget.
And on Edge Hill, is it, they putting guardrails in where those big boulders are now?
Yep.
They're gonna get the boulders out of there?
Yeah. The concrete blocks are actually owned by the town, and they'll probably come back here to protect the new fuel tank. They'll be repurposed in the yard.
Anyone care to make that motion?
Oh, I can do that one. I move to approve the guardrail work proposal by Lafayette, estimated to cost $6,500, and authorize the town administrator to sign the proposal on behalf of the town.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 10D, review and approve town highway structures grant 2026.
This one's for Windy Rise, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, so this is just entering into the grant agreement.
Which, there will be there's matching funds, and the project cost probably exceeds the grant, but not by as much as we maybe initially thought.
I'm not sure about this one.
I think originally we had heard that it could be like a $500,000 culvert, and
Oh,
then I think now it seems more consistent with other projects that we've done, like almost half of that, or
Okay.
maybe, well, let's just say maybe more like 300,000 as opposed to
Yeah.
500. So
okay.
there will be
There should be
matching
matching.
funds.
Yeah.
Plus, this is a $200,000 grant, right?
Yep. That's what it says right here.
Yeah.
On page 38, it says 200,000 total award
yeah.
amount.
Is it 10 or 20% match?
That's what I'm trying to
Well, the
determine.
amount that we
10%
estimated
income.
was 450,000. So that's actually 50%.
I'm
When is this
hoping
getting
that
done?
it's not that much, but
When is this getting done? I'm not sure when was the project supposed to be done?
well, I think we need more money to schedule it properly. We don't have any bids or anything yet. We probably need to talk to Everett about,
Yeah, we can't get it done this year.
no.
Okay.
It'd be a project for next year or the year after.
Yeah, I
Because you're
think,
not even gonna get a box culvert at this point.
right, which hopefully the grant can be extended to meet the,
I mean, the other ones,
Award,
we've been able to extend some of them.
the Spring Hill Road one
Spring Hill
has
Road.
been extended.
The end date they
that
had,
one has been extended and they will not let us extend it any further, so, so they do shut us off at some point, but.
yeah, the end date for this one is December 31st, 2027. So it'd be,
So that's,
2
that gives us
years.
some time, yeah.
And the Spring Hill Road one, for example, is probably twice the size of what this one would require, so hopefully.
well, that and that was a TAP grant, so it was
Yeah.
a federal pass-through grant, and
Drove the cost.
that drives the cost up because of engineering and everything the federal government does. Honestly, I
this-
probably wouldn't even enter into one of those agreements again.
Right, so
It
the
doubles
Starship
the
grant
cost.
is being used for the engineering costs and some of the administrative costs, and hopefully we'll get those expended before the
Yeah.
deadline, and then we'll use the, TAP money for the rest of it, hopefully.
Yeah, I bet you it almost doubled the amount of money for that project.
And it's one thing if you get enough money to cover it, but if all it does is if they give you 400,000 and it's 400,000 more, then it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
what are we really doing here?
yeah, that really didn't work out in our favor, I don't believe.
No.
Well, and if it was any easier, it would have been done by now, too.
Right.
That's the other
there's,
side.
yeah.
Mhm.
Well, the flood didn't help.
No, that was a convoluted
Yeah.
challenge, I guess, because it didn't eliminate any of our responsibility, even though the flood did damage to it.
Yeah.
We still have to replace it the
Yeah.
way we were doing it, because we'd already entered into the,
Yeah,
Yeah.
FEMA wouldn't,
Can't double dip.
yeah,
Right.
FEMA wouldn't add any more federal money to something that already had a federal grant.
right.
Anyone care to make that motion?
I would move to approve the town highways structures grant agreement for 2026 and authorize the town administrator to sign the agreement on behalf of the town.
Second.
All those in favor?
Alright.
Aye. And on to item 11, old business. 11A, review and approve town office change orders.
So some of these, I guess technically I could have reviewed, I mean, I could have approved, I just added them all in here, as a matter of course.
Yeah.
So, and hopefully this is maybe the last one that we've got. So it's removing the concrete steps here, the porch ceiling replacement for the new lighting, I think it's the, yeah, so, replacing the water line to the well, and then there was additional miscellaneous site work, which I think was related to the
That
The
was
ditch.
ditch and the
the
pavement.
ditching and the
like the
there's some pretty thick pavement and the extra
and the
base coat.
retaining wall and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
retaining wall.
That had a big price tag.
They did a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had to pour,
Um,
some of it was the cement in the trench.
That's right, there's, yeah. They had to pour cement in the
Yes,
trench
to
because
level
they
it,
couldn't
to
get
make
it,
level,
yeah, because they couldn't get it down far
And it
enough.
probably includes the ballards for the
Oh, yeah, right.
well and
Those were
power.
additions, yeah. And then the solar, addition was for a size increase, which was minimal.
And John signed off on everything too.
Yeah,
I'm happy to move it.
Sounds good.
I move to authorize change orders for the town office renovation project as follows. 1, remove concrete steps on the south side at a cost of $2,269. 2, entry porch ceiling replacement for new lighting at cost of $589. Number 3, replace the water line to the well at a cost of $805. Number 4, additional miscellaneous site work at a cost of $24,137. And 5, solar addition for size increase at a cost of $626. And to authorize the town administrator to execute any documents necessary to implement these change orders.
Second.
All those in favor?
Alright.
Aye. And moving on to 11B, review and approve certificate of substantial completion for town office project.
so, I mean, I think we've gotten to the point where it really is substantially complete. The punch list is mostly
smaller.
done.
Yeah, getting
I
smaller.
mean, they've still got painting going on, but the painters are here
They're gonna be here all week.
all week, so they'll get the green spots that we've identified. I think we still have problems with the locks.
Locks and
Yeah.
doors.
Yeah.
Just might be an ongoing thing for a while, but,
Doors,
Yeah, doors and locks.
Adjustments.
yeah.
Is, there's likely a warranty period for
1
some
year.
I think it
stuff
was
like
1
that,
year,
so
yeah.
even, yeah, you could pay for the work to be done and still request them to make repairs for either faulty materials or unworkmanlike workmanship.
Bad workmanship.
Yeah.
Bad workmanship.
Yeah,
Or,
that's an
Faulty
easier
workmanship.
description. Yeah, so
I mean,
I,
the list is getting smaller. Nate was here this weekend,
right.
took care of a lot of the things that. Did you notice they turned off your motion sensor?
I did. I noticed when
And
I
we
walked
got
in, I was
motion-
like, hey, where's
And
my
we got
light?
motion sensors in the
And I
bathroom.
saw that too, yeah,
Yeah.
so, yeah, it doesn't turn off when I sit down anymore, long periods of time, so
That's good.
I promise I will turn off my lights when I leave.
You should be able to manage that
Yeah.
on your own,
They
I
could
would
do
think,
that,
right?
yeah.
That's
Document wise.
reasonable.
The town, or the special meeting minutes?
Yeah.
You
Oh,
got
yeah.
Jim Fleming as vice chair.
Whoops.
Do you wanna just print out another one and have us sign it for another time?
Yep. So, I can do that tomorrow, so after tomorrow, we
Yeah,
stop
to
and,
approve it anyway.
oh, yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Usually we put it on the warning, on the agenda to approve them.
Approve the special town meeting?
Yeah.
Minutes.
I thought that was what the next town meeting was for. I thought that was something the town meeting had to do.
If you don't approve those minutes, then they should approve them
Yeah, so
after the fact.
next agenda, we should approve it.
All right, I'll put
Special
it on the
meeting.
next agenda.
Sure.
Um,
Alright, so moving on to item 12, new business, 12A, recycling coordinator, job description.
minutes.
Shouldn't it be solid waste recycling?
I think
Talked
that's
about
Well,
having
I
to
think-
change the,
So this came up the last time, wasn't so much about the job description, so much as the job title. And I honestly don't remember what we were adding. to it. Was it-
It should
Yeah,
be
that's
solid
the one.
waste coordinator.
solid waste recycling coordinator
Yeah.
is what we were gonna go with.
Is that the only thing we're changing?
I think that's all we're
Yeah,
gonna
that was
change,
it.
yeah.
is it solid waste?
Slash
Slash.
recycling.
Recycling
Yeah.
coordinator.
Yeah.
How
In the
long is
minutes, because that was,
Esther staying on until like August, or is she?
She said a month.
Yeah.
She got her email shut off today because we gave it to John. She's a tad upset.
Yeah.
I thought they were just gonna share it or something.
Huh?
I thought they were gonna share it for the time being or something. I don't
I
know.
guess nobody told me or Pete, so,
I created a password.
yeah,
Checked
changed
her out,
the
so.
password, so, yeah. Anyway, oopsie.
Alright. So, should we vote to change the name?
we knew what we exactly wanted to say.
Solid waste manager and recycling coordinator.
Manager is the word?
There was a piece about managing personnel, but
But it's not in the job description, is it?
I don't think so.
Do you just say solid waste slash recycling
Coordinator.
coordinator?
Coordinator.
That
Yeah.
way,
Yeah.
manager is a little more
Yeah.
official.
So
That will take
coordinator.
an overhaul of the,
Yeah,
That would, yeah.
of the whole job description.
there you go.
I mean, it's not a bad way to go, but,
Baby steps.
yeah.
Do you guys need me to sign this? To pass it for the chairs?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
just calling this a renaming. I would move to rename the recycling coordinator as the solid waste / recycling coordinator.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
12B, review and approve Wyndham Regional Commission's town office facility use.
So the Wyndham Regional Commission, wanted to find a meeting space in this area. And they thought that this might be a good place to meet, so,
It is now.
yeah.
As an ongoing, or do they have dates? Is that
No, it's one day, it's their, I'm not sure what kind of means, it's
It's the
listening session.
regional
planning?
plan.
Yeah, that's what it is,
Wasn't
right.
upper
The-
coordinator,
yeah,
coordinator,
I
It's the
think it's
regional
6:30 to
plan,
8
no, I
PM or
thought it said
something to
upper
that
coordinator.
I
effect.
think.
Six dates.
It's in the motion.
Pretty sure it said.
What's the date?
So Wednesday, September 3rd.
It says second in the motion.
I know.
Oh, it is third.
Whatever it's for.
I'm happy to move
Corridors what I
it.
saw on there, description.
I move to approve the Wyndham Regional Commission's use of the town office John Morse Meeting Room on Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025, from 6 to 8 p.m. and authorize the town administrator to sign the facilities use agreement on behalf of the town.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 12C, review and approve MERP amended agreement.
So this is I guess in the original MERP agreement, they didn't specifically include soft costs. And so this amendment includes, clarifies that soft costs can be reimbursable. I'm not sure how much that's gonna help us because we're not eligible for anything that happened before December 16th, 2024, but there might be some that we can use, and I guess going forward for the town hall renovation, anything we do there would be eligible, so that's what that's about.
Remind me what MERP,
Municipal energy
Resiliency
Program.
program.
okay.
It's for the solar and.
Solar, the insulation.
It's also ADA and historical preservation a little bit too.
Anyone care to make a motion?
For the
For the
MERP?
To approve the amended
Yeah.
agreement.
Oh, I didn't put it.
Oh, okay. No, I was just
I
making
didn't
sure
put one in
that
there for that either. Sorry about that.
I would make a motion to approve the MERP amended agreement
There you go, second.
Authorize myself to
and authorize the town administrator to sign
behalf of the town.
on behalf of the town.
Thank you.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
12D, building use request for Weston Playhouse Theater Company, Twitchell Building for August 2nd, 2025.
So I got the date right on that one, but the day is wrong. That's a Saturday.
Oh, yes. It is, and they're coming, they don't know if they wanna use up or down, so they're coming on Tuesday just to
Oh, they don't.
see it, which office they like, which room they like the best.
Is it just a meeting that they're doing?
It's
or
their
they-
Yeah, it's their
annual
board meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
annual board meeting.
Do we get to make any money on that? I move to approve the Western Playhouse Theater Company's use of the town office John Morse Meeting Room. We need to shorten that. On Saturday, August 2nd, 2025, and authorize the town administrator to sign the facilities use agreement on behalf of the town.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I could have just said town office, but because we have several meetings,
Sure.
it seems
Lisa.
like we should,
Recorded right where they'll be anyway.
right,
So.
yeah.
We won't, nobody's gonna be here to know whether they, which room they use.
I know, but if they say there was another one that wanted
Yes.
to meet, then we would say they had to meet downstairs so that they could duke it out or whatever.
Could avoid a.
Who wants the last
Right,
motion?
right, exactly.
Move to adjourn.
Conflict is bad.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.